want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, but there's logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it, I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it, you know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic, keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Betting Pros NBA Picks live stream here on YouTube. I know many of you are probably taking a break from the NCAA March Madness, the great games from last night. We came to you earlier today and talked about college picks, but we can't let the pros go away here at Betting Pros. So make sure to join us every Wednesday and Friday for the rest of the NBA season, and we are going to give you your sides, your totals, your player props here. One-stop shopping at bettingpros.com, number one source for all things betting. Make sure to subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel right below you here. Make sure you do that. You can get your questions in the live chat. Give us your bets from around the NBA, as we pretty much have about 12 games left in the NBA slate. Last night, just one game. Everybody took a break because of the NCAA tournament. Tonight, we're back, refreshed and replenished. 12-game slate tonight. So many great deals. Don't forget all the sports betting sites. We will use DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and Betting Pros. Always important to shop around, get the best line that you can find. There's a lot of variation in tonight's lines, so I did have to use several books. New users to BetMGM, you can bet $10 on any event. You'll win $150 in free credits, regardless of the outcome of that bet. So use that promo code JUICE150 at sign up. The link can be found in the video description here or pinned in the live chat. All of these bets I put out on Twitter. We end up doing full transparency, so I give you the results at the end of the night as well. And don't forget to go to that Betting Pros app where you can track the picks yourself and follow my picks here as we go through the games. As the Joker says, here we go. Starting with a side, Dallas plus 3.5 against Philadelphia, minus 108 on FanDuel. I love this Mavericks team, and what is not to love? 14 of the last 17 games, 8-2 in their last 10. Luka Doncic is making a push. He is not going to get MVP because Embiid and Joker are ahead of him, but he's making a push and is playing phenomenal basketball. Right now, the Mavericks are tied for Utah for fourth place in the Western Conference, 3.5 games behind a struggling Golden State team that now Steph Curry is going to be out for a little bit of time. Mavericks have won 5 straight road games, and they continue to get that MVP level from Doncic. He's averaging 34.7, 10.7 rebounds, 8.8 assists during the month of February, and all he's done is follow it up with 32 points, 10 rebounds, 6.9 assists during the month of March. He's cleared this number that we're going to look at today in 4 of his past 6 games. He's been on fire, and against the Sixers, his last game he played them, 33, 13, and 15 back on February 4th. Now, the Sixers have added James Harden, and that's weakened their perimeter defense, allowing the 4th most points and 4th most assists to opposing shooting guards over the past 7 games. Doncic is the point guard, but of course he fits into the shooting guard because he's a scoring machine. The Mavericks, during this run that they've been on, have never been out of any game. They had a 12-point comeback at Brooklyn the other night. Entering the fourth quarter, they're down 12. They come back and win by 2. The interesting thing about Philadelphia also is as a home team, they're one of the worst teams in the NBA at covering. They are 13 and 21 against the spread at home and have failed to cover in 6 of their past 7 games. They've come back to earth after this initial James Harden bump where he was playing great. I think this team is struggling to find its roles. I am not high on them in a future Philadelphia. Is it Embiid first, then Harden? When they go to Harden, he kills ball movement. Maxey, Tobias Harris are also struggling to fit into their roles. Now, there is a rumor that Embiid may or may not be in tonight, could be out with a back injury. I think we win either way. If there's no Embiid, certainly this line goes down and we take the Mavericks. If Embiid plays, is he going to beat 100%? I'm not sure. Dallas ranks dead last in seconds per possession since the break. So I think we have a very slow contest tonight where getting points with the underdog is even more valuable. I like the Mavericks. I don't like Philly. I will take the 3.5. If we get the bonus that Embiid is out, this line goes down. But I think they can cover either way. Really playing great basketball here with Doncic leading the way. Make sure to put any questions that you have into the chat, questions about the matchups tonight, things that you like that you want us to talk about. Moving on to our next game. This one I'm a little nervous about, but I'm going to go with it. I'm taking the Knicks -5.5 versus the Wizards, -110 at BetMGM. I'm going to stick my finger in this mousetrap with the Knicks here, even in a huge Kristaps Porzingis revenge spot. Folks, Washington is terrible. They've lost 5 in a row, 8 of 10, and the second worst team this year against the spread on the road, 10 and 22 and 1. The loser of this game is pretty much eliminated from the playoff race. Washington's a half game ahead of the Knicks for that 11th spot, and they're both 4.5 ahead of the Hawks. So maybe neither one is going to make it, but at least it's in the realm of possibility with more than 10 games left. Since the All-Star break, the Wizards are 4th worst in overall defense and 30th in half-court defense, which is where the Knicks want to play. The only team that has a worse defensive rating in the last 2 weeks from an efficiency standpoint is Oklahoma City. Teams just break them down. Aggressive players get big lines against them. You have 2 players that are scalding hot in Barrett and Randall. Wizards are actually trying to run a little bit. Maybe they're trying to tank, but they're trying to go up and down. And for a team that doesn't have a lot of talent, that's going to be a problem. Kristaps Porzingis revenge game. It is live tonight, folks, but it's the first leg of a back-to-back for Washington. So if the Knicks get up a lot, they will probably pull Porzingis. Barrett, last 10 games for the Knicks, 27-6-4. Randall, last 10 games for the Knicks, 24-8-5. The Knicks have shown the ability recently to win by double digits. They've won games in March by 23, 18, and 30 twice. I am going to lay the 5.5 points here with the Wizards. I'm only worried about a big Porzingis bomb spot. I just don't trust the Wizards, though, and I've done well betting against them on this live stream. So the second game here, Knicks -5.5. Question here, are we on Luka overs? Oh, Robert, they're coming. They are certainly coming here, and we like Luka overs. I think this is a big, big spot for him. I found that Luka has done well in games where he's going against another MVP candidate. Like I said, I don't think he's going to get the MVP, but I think he's going to show up tonight. We'll get to that a little bit later. Good question. Next up, Cleveland +3 versus Denver. That's -112 at FanDuel and under 226 in this game. 2 picks, Cavs +3 and the under 226. You can find it if you look close enough on FanDuel -110 for that under. Everyone, I love the Cavs. You know that. Cleveland is 19-12-2 at home against the spread. That's third best in the NBA. This is a sell-high spot for the Nuggets. They are rolling the Nuggets, playing really well. They've won 6 of 8 games, but they're playing their third road game in just the last 4 days. Time for them to take a step back. Denver is just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6, so they're winning, but they're not necessarily covering. This is a huge bet on Cleveland point guard Darius Garland, who's been on fire lately. 26, 4, and 10 averaging in March. I think he's too quick for Aaron Gordon, who's probably going to draw that assignment tonight. Gordon's done a good job on defense, but I think Garland's at a different level. Cavs are still in desperation mode. They got to get the push there, and they got against Philly and got the tie against Philly in the last game. Allie and I did that pick. We ended up splitting. Both of us pushed at 4, but they really had a chance to cover late in the game and closed it to within 2. They played against Embiid and Harden in that game. So I know we're going to be worried about Jokic, who I think has a big game tonight. But Embiid and Harden, they ended up pushing. I think tonight they can get by the Joker. This game should be a crawl. Both teams prefer a half-court battle. Denver has greatly improved on defense the last month, and Cleveland has been solid all year. For the Cavs, Lauri Markkanen is back, 13 or more points in 5 straight games. Karis LeVert is back, had 15 and 7 the other night. 2 picks for you here. Cavs +3 against Denver on FanDuel. Staying on FanDuel, let's go under 226 in what could be one of the slowest, maybe the slowest paced game of the night. I have one more that I want to give you here, and I want to take a look at Toronto. Stick a fork in the Lakers. They are done. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron gets shut down soon. Toronto -8.5, -108 in FanDuel. Toronto's won 5 in a row. They just beat the Lakers in LA. The only way the Lakers win is if LeBron ends up going for 40 or 50 points, and I just don't think that's happening here. The Raptors are better. The Raptors are better coached. Nick Nurse is going to find the weakness like he always does. Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Van Vliet seems healthy. The shooting is starting to come back with Van Vliet. Toronto is tied for the 6th spot in the East and 2 games behind the Bulls for the 5th spot. I like Van Vliet. I like Siakam. It's LeBron or nothing for LA. Toronto was able to win and cover on the road at LA. Now you come to Toronto. I am rolling with the Raptors team, with one of the best coach team in the entire NBA, and we're rolling here with the Raptors. -108, -8.5, -108 on FanDuel. Now we'll transition to the player props. Love the player props here. Been doing very well. 4-1 last time on Wednesday. Make sure to check out the player prop cheat sheet here at BettingPros. BettingPros.com/cheat sheet. All the great values out there. Hitting about 56 to 57% this year. Our top 20 plays. So we have some here tonight. Luka Doncic, we talked about this before. Luka's been fantastic this year, and I absolutely think he's going to roll tonight. So the first one that I want to put out there, one of the ones that I've looked at closely, I like Luka's over points, rebounds, and assists, but I really like Luka over 7.5 assists, -110 on DraftKings. Luka's going to be distributing, he's going to be attacking, and he should be able to get whatever he wants on the perimeter. So my first prop tonight, staying with the theme of the Mavericks playing well, Luka Doncic over 7.5 assists, -110 on DraftKings. That is my first pick there. Second, Nikola Jokic over 46.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -110 on DraftKings. I think that the Cavs are going to play well, but I don't think they're going to stop Jokic, who obviously making that push for the MVP. And we just saw Embiid go for about 55 points, rebounds, assists in that game against Cleveland. So I expect a big game from Jokic tonight. I don't think the supporting cast does much. I like the Cavs to keep it close, which is even better because we want Jokic to play more and have more minutes. So we're going with the Joker over 46.5 points, 46.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -110 on DraftKings. Next, Spencer Dinwiddie. He's done a fantastic job here, and we have him on our Betting Pros cheat sheet at over 4.5 assists, -105 on DraftKings. You know, Dinwiddie has come over and has really found a home here with the Mavericks, has played very, very well. Now they're going against the Sixers. Dinwiddie had a great revenge night the other night against Brooklyn. This is a fantastic spot for Dinwiddie I expect him and Doncic to both be rolling. Like I said, the perimeter is weak for the Sixers, so I love him. He is projected for 6.1 assists on our Betting Pros cheat sheet. Spencer Dinwiddie with the Mavericks, staying with the theme of Dallas, over 4.5 assists, probably giving some to Luka for some threes, minus 105 on DraftKings. That is my third prop. Next one, I told you Toronto's going to roll tonight, which means I really like Fred VanVleet. Lost this one the other night, but I'm going back to it. We're using an alt line over 20.5 points, minus 102 on FanDuel. Most of the lines you see on Fred are 19.5, but the juice is a little high on those. So we're going to go for an alt line over 20.5 points, minus 102 on FanDuel. This is number 13 on our Betting Pros cheat sheet, bettingpros.com/cheat sheet. We project him for 22.5 points tonight. Right said Fred VanVleet. Toronto at home against the Lakers. Forget the Lakers defense. I think VanVleet shoots it well, has a hot first half, and I think this is a comfortable cover tonight for an over for Fred VanVleet. Two more we got. As I said, this next one is dependent on if Embiid plays. If Embiid does not play, I'm not going to take an under on James Harden. But if Embiid plays, James Harden under 23.5 points, minus 118 on FanDuel. This is number 4 on our Betting Pros cheat sheet, but that cheat sheet is based on Embiid playing. We project him for 19.5 points. So you're getting 4 points of value here with James Harden under 23.5 against FanDuel. He's certainly going to facilitate, but the biggest advantage tonight for the Sixers against the Mavericks is going to be on the interior. So I expect Embiid to get a lot of touches and a lot of scoring and a lot of production, but I'm going to go under for Harden, under 23.5 points. I thought about his points, rebounds, and assists, but he could be a big facilitator tonight. So we'll just go under 23.5 points, minus 118 on FanDuel. And the last one, death, taxes, and Jackson Hayes of the Pelicans. Jackson Hayes over 12.5 points against the Spurs on the road, plus 105 on PointsBet. A lot of them have 11.5, but Hayes has been playing big minutes. He can attack the front line. You know, the Spurs in the backcourt with Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray usually do a good job. I think Hayes is active inside. There's still no Brandon Ingram, so it's just him and Joval. I'm going with Jackson Hayes. Look for him to get some easy dunks from CJ McCollum on penetration, who's had a ton of assists the last few games without Brandon Ingram. Number 9 on our Betting Pros cheat sheet here for Jackson Hayes. He's projected for 15 points. Jackson Hayes of the Pelicans over 12.5 points at the Spurs, 105. Any questions here, make sure to put them in the chat. I'm sure you guys are loving NCAA tournament, as am I, but don't forget about your NBA, because as we're coming down the stretch, I think there are some great opportunities to get some money here on these props. Like I said, Luka Doncic, absolutely going to lock in tonight. He's one of my flag plants. And Harden, let's back off a little bit. So just to recap, everyone, picks for tonight, we end up having Dallas plus 3.5 against Philly. We have the Knicks minus 5.5 and a cross your fingers cover against the Wizards, who I just don't think are good. Cleveland plus 3 against Denver at home. They're always tough at home, and I think they're going to be even tougher against a Denver team that's hot, and the under 226. And forget the Lakers. Toronto minus 8.5. For our props, Luka over 7.5 assists. Joker over 46.5 points, rebounds, assists. Spencer Dinwiddie joining Luka over 4.5 assists. Right said Fred VanVleet over 20.5 points on an alt line there. James Harden under 23.5, and death taxes and Jackson Hayes over 12.5. Folks, enjoy. We are going to be back tomorrow at 11 and Sunday at 11 for the college basketball picks, and we will see you next Wednesday and Friday, of course, for the NBA picks. Mike Randall for Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Randall Rant. Enjoy the games, everyone.